If you've been watching my videos for a while, then you know that Dragon Ball Z was my favorite anime as a child, and it wasn't an argument for anything else. But as I've gotten older and had the chance to experience more, my stance has changed. A number of aspects that were great to me back then don't have the same impact on me now. I think many stories are better, but if I had to argue what is the single greatest arc out of every anime I've ever watched, this one would have a solid case. Let me just start with this. One thing that I will always believe is that the story of Dragon Ball is at its best when the Dragon Balls are the main focus. With One Piece, Luffy being the king of the pirates is the goal, and the people Luffy meets, the hardships he endures, and the development he has all lead him towards that goal. Naruto had one major goal. He wanted to be the Hokage. Becoming stronger and saving his friends both lead him towards that goal. Since the Namek Saga, more often than not, the story of Dragon Ball wasn't focused on the Dragon Balls. But the Namek Saga is what I believe to be one of the greatest displays of maintaining the importance of a goal, and it goes three ways. Goku and his friends go to Namek to find Dragon Balls and bring back their fallen comrades. Vegeta goes to Namek to find Dragon Balls to wish for immortality to beat Frieza. And Frieza goes to Namek to find Dragon Balls to wish for immortality, but unlike Vegeta, he wants it for galaxy conquest. All selfish wishes, but one of these means much more than meets the eye, but we'll come back to that later. So with there being different motivations for why each party is searching for the Dragon Balls, there's a section of this story where there's a lot going on all at once. I refer to this portion as the chaos. This part of the story follows Vegeta's search for the Dragon Balls, Gohan and Krillin looking for a singular Dragon Ball but also becoming stronger, Frieza losing what once seemed like a death grip of the situation on Namek, and Goku's journey through space. Not once did it feel like I couldn't follow along. Not once did it feel like Toriyama was just throwing stuff in just for the sake of throwing stuff in. And last but definitely not least, the pacing during this section was fantastic. I haven't watched every shonen anime, but I'd bet money that at least once in every shonen anime the pacing gets iffy at best. Sometimes it's unbearable. And with the story as jam-packed as the Frieza arc, I think Toriyama did a marvelous job at making sure it didn't feel too rushed or that it was dragging. Now through the chaos, there were a number of events that were cool to me and I just want to go over them. One of them being Vegeta's interaction with Dodoria, because I think so much was accomplished through this meeting. First, we learned about Zenkai boosts, and that's a big plot point for this story. It's the reason why Saiyans get considerably stronger after every fight. It provided a lot of context for the entirety of Dragon Ball up to that point, and it's a plot point that the story uses effectively in this arc specifically. This meeting also sees Vegeta kill Frieza's second best soldier, and it was a quick death for Dodoria. Vegeta didn't waste too much time displaying how much stronger he became through his struggles on Earth, and one skill he learned was how to manipulate his energy, making a scouter useless. In a symbolic way, I see this as Vegeta detaching himself from Frieza's empire. I mean, that's kind of his whole objective in this arc. Maybe I'm looking too deep into it, but a scouter is something all Frieza soldiers have, and Vegeta destroying his is more than just proving he doesn't need it. And the last thing we get from Vegeta and Dodoria's encounter is the true history when it comes to the extinction of the Saiyans. Vegeta plays it off like he doesn't care that Frieza is responsible, but we learn later down the line just how much this meant to him. Another aspect of the chaos that I enjoyed was watching how much more comfortable Gohan was with putting himself in dangerous situations. From kicking Dodoria to saving Dende to confronting Vegeta not once but twice shows the evolution in Gohan's character. He still doesn't have a good grasp on his power and he does have a problem controlling his anger, but I was happy seeing his newfound willingness to leap into battle. Of course, I love how all three parties interacted with each other in terms of searching for the Dragon Balls, but the best part of that is when Vegeta steals 5 Dragon Balls from Frieza. Without going into too much detail, it's one of the smartest plans a character has ever pulled off in Dragon Ball, and if Vegeta were to mess up even one part of his plan, he would have been killed 100%. As far as the Ginyu Force section, it wasn't anything too crazy. We knew that Gohan, Vegeta, and Krillin were no match for them, and actually watching it play out did build this sense of despair. Up until this point, Gohan and Krillin never needed Goku. He would have been a big help, but they didn't need him. But as Gohan is literally on death's door and Krillin is unable to move, Goku arrives. And just like he did on Earth, he brought a sense of serenity with him. You just knew that everything was going to be okay. Seeing Goku take on the challenge of basically beating the entire Ginyu Force by himself was so cold, and watching him power up against Ginyu is one of my favorite scenes in this arc. Not only did it build the expectation of Goku whooping Ginyu, but it also did a great job of building the hype for Goku versus Frieza. If you've watched this arc, then you know that Goku didn't really fight Ginyu, but I didn't have a problem with that. Vegeta was the one who ended up beating Ginyu, and this is where I want to shift my focus onto Vegeta. He was my favorite character in this arc, by far. I think he displayed the widest range of emotions, showed why he is one of the smartest characters in the series, but also because of his ascension in terms of power, but I'll explain that a little later. Now this may sound slightly callous, but I did enjoy the massacre of the Namekians. Like, I wasn't happy with the fact that they were dying. I was well aware of their innocence and how unfair it was that their lives were ruined in that way. But their massacre only highlighted just how cruel Frieza was, and it made it so much easier to root against him. And that's what made the fight against Frieza such a roller coaster. From learning that he could transform, to Vegeta abusing a Saiyan attribute, to just the overall hopelessness that I felt for the Z fighters during this fight. Every time it seemed like they were making some headway, Frieza would just go on and show why he's known throughout space as the evil emperor. Goku wasn't there for the beginning of this fight due to the injuries he sustained from Genyu's body switch, but after Goku finishes healing, he's become an entirely new person. A week or two before his fight with Frieza, he couldn't even beat Vegeta, and now he's staring down the man who made Vegeta a slave. And speaking of Vegeta, his loss to Frieza was heartbreaking. Vegeta's rise to power in this arc was represented through those he defeated. Kui, Dodoria, Zarbon, Jason, even Ginyu were all taken out by Vegeta, and each individual represented a different level in Frieza's army, from low-level soldiers to his right-hand men to higher mercenaries. And even though Vegeta's goal this arc is to wish for immortality, he only wishes for that because he knows he can't beat Frieza off of his strength alone. I know that was damaging for his pride. So for him to consecutively take down the strongest people in Frieza's army and abuse the Saiyan advantage he had made it that much more devastating when he fought Frieza and realized that even with all of the strength he obtained, he paled in comparison to Frieza. And Frieza defeating him is more than just losing a fight. We know that hurt Vegeta. He takes a lot of pride in his fighting abilities and being considered a super elite. But as he is on death's door, it becomes abundantly clear how much this fight truly meant to him. Vegeta was essentially a slave, and a good one at that. He explains how the Saiyans never disobeyed Frieza and completed every task he asked of them. To be betrayed like that is painful enough, but for that same ruler to kill your entire race is a different level of pain. And we see all of this culminate in the first and only time Vegeta cries. The strong and tough exterior withered away, and as he is dying, he begs his sworn enemy to beat Frieza. Not because he beat Vegeta, and not because he made Vegeta a slave, but to avenge the Saiyan race. Because at this point, Goku is the only full Saiyan left. So let's look at how Goku's mission has changed. Goku's motivations go from saving his friends and bringing his loved ones back, to saving a planet and avenging the Namekian race, and embracing the part of himself that he once hated. The fight between Goku and Frieza is often considered the best in the series, and rightfully so. Goku represents the purest of intentions, but so does Frieza. They are two sides of the same coin, pure good and pure evil. Everyone in the story who knew about what really happened to Planet Vegeta said that Frieza feared the day that a Saiyan strong enough to beat Frieza would arise, the legendary Super Saiyan. A legend Vegeta thought Goku was once before, but was wrong. A legend that Vegeta thought he had realized himself, but was wrong. For a race known to be so barbaric and evil, it's quite poetic that to achieve greater power, you had to be pure of heart. Goku as a Super Saiyan and Frieza at full power delivered a fight for the ages, one that is well known for being long and drawn out and actually has a lot of empty space if you watch the Dragon Ball Z version of the fight. In the end, Goku won, but Frieza's hatred is what really killed him. After Frieza cuts himself in half, Goku was willing to leave Frieza and give him a chance to leave Namek. But after an arc of being deceitful and vicious, it should have been no surprise that Frieza tried to take advantage of Goku's kindness, forcing Goku to kill him. Like I said before, this is my favorite arc in all of Dragon Ball and possibly in all of shonen anime. It was a wild ride that was often unpredictable, but in a good way. It just sucks that it's been nearly 30 years and I don't think Dragon Ball has been this good since. But with that being said, if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button too. Also, let me know down in the comments how you feel about the Namek Saga. But with that being said, this is BigTune, and thanks for watching. Y'all have a good one.